Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. How's it going? Hey, Bland's Promise Ranch. How are you? Hello, Donna Alford. Glad to have you guys. Hello, Tom. How's everybody doing tonight? It is hot here today. Hello. Yeah, come on in. It was 97 at work today. And then I came home to the mountains and I was like, thank you for living in the mountains, because it was about 88 when I got home. We're in the Black Hills, the southern Black Hills of South Dakota. So we're about an hour away from Rapid City, but it's a beautiful breeze outside and we're loving it. So it's actually nicer outside right now. Inside is pretty cool, but just nice to be out in the fresh air and stuff. No worries, Monica. So it's been I don't know about you guys, but it was a short work week, but it felt like forever, even though it was only 4 days. And I'm glad it's Friday. That's for sure. And then this weekend. Sorry, I got the computer on my legs because it's the best I can do. So this weekend we're going to do the fencing, and it's supposed to be in the 90s tomorrow. Hopefully here it won't be in the 90s because that's too hot to do fencing. But so Ryan just got home from work. That's why he's not on camera. He's just gonna eat his supper, but he is making faces at me, so that's why I'm laughing. But I wanted to show you guys some of the animals. What do you think? I got to carry my laptop, but what do you think? Good idea? So you can see them live and in person, so to speak. All right, so let's check it out. Bear with me. All right, so I'm going to face this. I'm going to walk on down. So there's one of our gardens. It's fenced in there. It's on the side of the house. I hope that gives you a good view. And then there's our crazy chickens. I'm going to get closer so you can see them. It's hard to do with a laptop. Be nice if YouTube let us do this on our phones from the beginning, but all right. So there's the crazy chickens. We merged the teenagers in with the older flock. So there was 11 of the older girls, 14 of the little ones, and it seems to be going well. It's been about a week. We've locked them in there for the week so they all get along. And then we're going to see how it goes. Tomorrow we're going to let them out about an hour before dusk and see if we can get the little ones back in the coop, because obviously it'll be naturally dark. So, but yeah, that's them. And I hung my prayer flags up tonight, so they look pretty cool. Pretty festive, I thought. They just look so nice blowing in the breeze. I have a GoPro, Donna, but I use that for filming. I can't use that for going live. I could use StreamYard, but I just haven't because I usually use my laptop. Hey, Bramble Hill. Glad to have you here, Erin. We're just doing some looking at the animals on my laptop, so it's kind of hard, but everybody's been really good about this. Here's these two. There's Eleanor and Fiona. If I don't hit the electric fence, it'll be a miracle. I don't know if you can hear them snorting. But look at Fiona giving it to her. Oh my God. Oh my gosh, they're so funny. I love these two. Thanks, Lisa. Welcome, Lisa Colovi. Glad. Yeah, thanks for liking the flags. We really like them. And here's Sherman, and here's a good example. Oh, look at that sunset. Isn't that amazing? Here's a good example of cooney pigs. Like, do you see how much grass Sherman has? Keep that in mind when we go see the other pigs. So Sherman's got his pool. I'm trying to get him in the view there. Oh, I got to go this way. Hang on. There's Sherman. Hello, Sherman. And here's the ducks. They've got their pool. I don't know if you can see them there. They're walking away from me. Oh, gosh, look at Fiona. Can you see her? How funny is that? She runs around like crazy. Yeah, he is happy. They're good. I'm telling you, they're really happy animals. They've been running around, enjoying the weather. And then, okay, so you saw the pasture for Sherman, and the girls has got some grass, right? Yeah, Fiona is full of energy, Erin. She is cute. She's gotten so big already. But check this out. Look at this mess. That's the meat pigs. That's Maggie and Winston. They got a waller instead of a pool because Maggie would just dump it over and destroy it. But there they are, lounging around. Everybody's happy. So that's good. So yeah, so they're having a blast. I'll give you one more look at the littles here. So Eleanor is on, she's a larger one. How about I say that instead of saying on the right when it's probably the opposite. So that's Eleanor on this side of the bench. And that's Fiona's the tinier one. But look at Eleanor's little tail. I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of curled up. So cute. And they scratch on that bench. I have to move it. But I think when we put them in pasture, I can leave it there. It's quite heavy, so we haven't moved it just yet. Because, again, this is just temporary to get them used to it. And so, but yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful day here. I'm glad that it got cooler. We got a breeze. So, yeah, Lisa says, oh, Maggie. Erin says, oh, Maggie and Winston, what are we going to do with you in your mud bog? Yeah. But that's what they do. That's the kind of pigs they are, you know. And Bland's Promise Ranch, you've got that kind of pigs too. You've got the red wattles, though, if I remember correctly, or you have a sow that's a red wattle. So yeah, it's pretty cool. But it's just so nice to see them out and about. So yes, thanks, Erin. Everybody press that thumbs up. So what's everybody up to this weekend? Anything good? We're going to be doing the fencing for the pasture. We did that video, and we'll be doing another video on the fencing. And, you know, so we'll probably put a hot wire on it. We got to go get a gate tomorrow and all that so we can get the side-by-side in there. So thanks, Lisa. And Donna, when I was growing up, they didn't have electric fencing. We chased them up the road to get them back in the pen. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing with chickens tomorrow, because this new bunch, my original bunch was so good about being trained to come from the time they were in the brooder, you know, and just, I would, you know, I taught them, I think it was Guilford Farms, Jamie. And I just ended up teaching them from the start, like, you know, come on, I'd call them, I'd go chook chook and put something in my hand and they'd come running. I tried that with this bunch and they're nuts. They're absolutely nuts. There was 14 of them in the brooder, and they were so crazy that every time I put my hand in there, they would try to go through the hardware cloth. I couldn't believe it. It was ridiculous. So I gave up on that. So I'm hoping if we put them out at about an hour before dark or an hour before dusk, right, tomorrow night, we'll see how it goes, because naturally they'll want to go back to the coop. So I don't know, Erin, what do you think? Or what do you guys think? Oh, you're doing bull videos. Ooh, nice. That looks good, Blands. I like that. Excited about the cow vids. They're my faves. Yeah, we don't have room for cows. I wish. Oh, are you joining me?
Yep.
Oh, he's here.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, good day, Daz. No problems. Glad to have you. We're just glad you could attend for however long as you can. But we're just sitting here having a chat and enjoying it. Yeah, check out Bramble Hill's video. Promised Land Ranch. She put a cider, I think is what you call it. I was going to say a CIDR. in her cows prepping for the artificial insemination. Go check out her channel. And I think most of you are all connected. But yeah, check out On the Plant, which is Tom. Check out Bramble Hill Homestead, which is Erin. Check out My Aussie Garden and Kitchen, which is Daz in Australia. And Bland's Promise Ranch, they're in Texas. Yes, I could always barter. That's true.
No steaks tonight. Tonight was pork loin on the smoker.
Yep. Pork loin on the smoker. I haven't eaten yet. Ryan just ate right before we went live because he got home late. And so, but yeah. Ooh, grilling hot dogs. See, I could go like that. I like it. But yeah.
Yeah, we bought one of those pellet grills, smokers, and that thing has been the best. I cook everything on that. I love using that.
Tell them about your auction win.
Oh, yeah. There's a local auction house that does a lot of online auctions in our area. So this week I won I guess I was a high bidder on a stock rack for the back of the truck. So when we haul the pigs to processing, instead of having to get a stock trailer, we have the truck already. So it fits in there, and I have to do a little bit of work to it, but nothing major. But it was real inexpensive. Also, on a bunch of tools, I got those as well.
I was just answering Aaron too. Duck eggs and bacon for us, all homegrown. Super excited. That's awesome.
Yeah, that sounds good.
That's really cool. Yeah, let's show you the stock racks. We can show them to you because they're still on the trailer. I posted them on Instagram, but we can show them to you closer up because we're still got them on the trailer. So the front one, we're going to put, I got to go the opposite way here. Hang on, bear with me, folks. Worst live ever. Hang on.
Yeah, this one here.
Hang on, I got to get you in the frame. There you go.
Yeah, this one here is the one we're going to use. That'll fit nicely in our pickup. And then the one in the back over here is a lot longer. I didn't go preview, so I just bought them by the pictures online, but it's in decent shape. So I'll probably fix this one up and sell it.
I thought we were going to get more animals.
Well, we may be able to use it for temporary housing for the animals, but
show your face when I said that.
Yeah. Yeah. The other piece of it, 2 pieces of hog panel and some concrete blocks, because when you buy the lot, you get all that stuff. So it was a pretty good bargain, I'd say. Yeah,
for sure. So I wanted to show you guys while we're here, and I'm hoping the internet connection holds up because I'm kind of far from the house. So I don't know. Can you tell me if you guys can see it? So, all right, there's the animals, right? There's the house. So we're going to swing left. And so I don't want to go too far, but let's see. Bear with me. Again, the laptop thing. So that's the pasture that we're fencing in. So it's like actually like a lower level than everybody else, than the farm is. But it's relatively flat. And, we're going to try and make the most of what we got so we can do that. But you can see by that rock right here in front of you. So Sherman's house is upper, and then we're going to have lower. So we're going to try and use the natural landscape to be able to save on some fencing, but we'll see how it goes. Because, it's not like we got mountain goats. We got pigs, but you never know what we may get in the future. So look at all the gorgeous grass. Thanks, Aaron and Daz. Really good. Bye, guys. Yeah, thank you. Let's see what else we got with comments. I'm on it, friend. Yeah, we're really excited to have it. I think it's going to be really good. As you see, the coonies don't do near as much damage to the pasture area as the other pigs. So I think it's going to be really good. I think the hardest part about it is Ryan found on Facebook. I saw this article on Facebook in a group for Kuni pigs, and it says ponderosa pine, which that's all I got. That's all we have here is ponderosa pine. The needles, the pigs eat them, and apparently it can cause them to abort pregnancies. So what we're going to end up doing anyway, because it's the first time making a pasture, is we're going to end up raking it out, and we don't have any equipment to do it.
But we always look at the auctions for that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Ryan will have a tool soon. Don't worry.
I'm always on the lookout for that kind of stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, exactly, Aaron. I mean, Sherman's area is clean and dry, and, you know, it's working out awesome. And I think the only thing with Sherman is he's a little lonely. We were thinking of putting the ducks in with him just to keep him company, because we're done with buying kunis for a while, obviously, and we have to keep the girls and boys separate. But I think that when we do have a litter, we will keep a male, and we'll probably castrate him, but we'll keep a buddy in there with Sherman, so he's got somebody with him. So we'll have boys and girls pens. But yeah, I mean, and Aaron, I never would have guessed that either about the needles. I mean, it's crazy. And I don't even know if it's 100% true. I'm going to be honest. But either way, we've got to rake it out, you know, for the first time, because there's a lot of like sticks down there that are pretty dead, but they're pretty sharp. They're like, what do you call it? They're not dead where wood falls apart. It's like driftwoody.
What's that?
You know, some of those branches, how sharp they are.
Yeah, it's just there's a lot of I guess what you'd call forest litter here.
Yeah, forest litter.
That would be dead branches, and as those pine needles dry, they also become more rigid than they are when they're live. So they can be, I guess,
they can hurt
or.
Yeah, I mean, the ponderosa pine cones have sharp points on them, and they hurt. Like, I've picked one up and it's stuck in my finger. So I want to get those raked out. And I think what we're going to do is probably cut some more trees, just because I don't want as many pine needles in on the girl side. Donna asked if we are going to get goats. Are we going to get goats, Ryan?
Stay tuned.
I really want.
I really would like to, because we have about roughly 2 acres here, and it is manageable, I think, with the animals we have. Perhaps maybe a couple of goats, but beyond that, I think we'd have overcrowding, and I'm not really interested in that.
Donna says, "Oh, come on." Ha ha ha, he sighed a big sigh regarding goats. That's Aaron.
No, I would like to get goats. I mean, we don't have any young children or anything, so the milk and that kind of stuff for making cheese really isn't of interest. But I'd consider getting meat goats.
Hey everybody, our treasured home came in. That's Nancy. Welcome, Nancy. Glad to have you here. Ryan's face is priceless. Lisa says. Yeah, I mean, quite honestly, you know what I really want? I do want I want maybe 2 goats. I do want a Nubian to be able, a nanny to be able to milk. And I know, but I don't want to do it now while I'm working, you know. So I'm just at the point where that'll have to wait for, you know, when we retire or whatever. But I do want to I don't want a cow to milk. We don't need that. It's not like we have young kids or anything, but yeah, when I'm not working anymore, then definitely I want to have a Nubian. I hear that they have the highest fat content for cream, so it's pretty cool. Hey, doing things different. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, Aaron, boo, work. I agree with you. Yeah. I agree with you. I think I missed a comment. I just want to go back up. But yeah, I do want to make goat soap. I want to make goat cheese, quite honestly, and some other products because I think it would be cool. And Daz, you heard that we have 2 acres here. So primarily that I would say what the house and the buildings are on 1 acre and the gardens.
Yeah.
And then we have, I mean, roughly, you know what I mean?
The majority, I'd say the house, the buildings, the garage, driveway and such is probably about 3/4 of an acre. And the other part of it, as you see the rock ledges, that's a significant amount because the property line is on the back side of those rock outcroppings we have here.
Yep. So Donnie, you asked me what I do for work. I can't mention where I work, but I can tell you in general what I do. I am a licensed mental health counselor as well as a substance abuse and addiction counselor. So I'm a clinical supervisor, so I oversee the counselors. And so I'm a licensed clinical social worker. Most people don't, everybody hears social worker and they think that, I do case management all day, but I don't. I'm actually a mental health and addiction licensed therapist. So that's what I do. I'm a clinical supervisor, make sure things run right. But I do that. But yeah, I'm sorry, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I'm in my line of work. I've been for probably the last 25 years or so, I've been in the mining and mineral processing industry.
Mm-hmm. Aaron says you have a gorgeous area, so pretty, and you've done so well to use space. Well, thank you. I mean, like we talked about on our, I think it was our last live or several others, we talked about this is May 1st. We moved here in January 2020. Ryan was out here before I was. Long story short, we started this journey May 1st with our laying hens, the first flock we had. Then we had meat birds. So all this stuff that you see, we've done in a year. We had everything in 1 year. So adding the pastures now is just the next natural thing to do because it's that time of the year. We knew that during the wintertime or during the colder months when we got the pigs, I mean, come on, the day we got Sherman, we got him home and the next day we had a blizzard. So there was no fencing going on. So we just did what we could. We're a firm believer in versatile buildings. The meat bird coop, when it's not being used by meat birds, if you guys have been watching, you know that we use that thing for everything. Maggie and Winston went in there right off the bat. When they got too big, we moved them around. We put Sherman in there. When he got too big, we moved him around. We put the ducks in there. We put the teenage chicks in there. So, yeah. So, I mean, in a year, we've accomplished a lot. And I think that's what's really cool about YouTube, because I think that we might not have realized how much we accomplished. Because I look back at our first video, I had no idea what I was doing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not the bomb now, but I had no idea. We put up a processing chicken video and all I did was put photos together, and Ryan laughed at me and was like, "That's terrible." And I said, "Yeah, I know, but that's all I know how to do." So, but yeah. So Bland, you answered Bland's Promise Ranch about what do you do?
Yeah, just to clear up I guess when you say mining and mineral processing, a lot of people automatically go to coal. I don't work in the coal industry. There's many industrial minerals that are used for many different things we use every day. In Connecticut, I worked at a limestone mining and mineral processing company that went into joint compound, wallboard, tile, glass, and several of my other mining companies that I've worked for have gone into other things from sanitary ware, meaning kitchen sinks, bathroom sinks, toilets, and but there's a lot of things we use every day in our lives that is mined.
Yeah, so your cell phones, your TVs, your sinks in your house, a lot of housing products, like those are all the things. Automotive
as well.
Yep, for sure. Thanks, Nancy at Our Treasured Home. Yeah, I appreciate that. I love what I do. I went back to school thanks to this guy here. She was saying
Oh.
it's just nice to have somebody in the field to
You
do
guys
that.
are crushing it.
Yeah.
That is some mining fun.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I
funny.
love what I do. I went back to school, and when our son was, he was a teenager, because I know he used to meet me at the college and everything. But yeah, but thanks, Tom. Also appreciate it. And I was just going to say thanks, Daz.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. Yeah, we are
Yeah.
proud. It is good to look back and see all the things that you've done. It's just such a feeling of pride. I think that's the biggest thing. And thanks, Aaron.
Yeah, my commute's rather short.
Yeah, he's like 15 minutes, if that. So let's just leave it at that. I'm the one who commutes. Um, yeah, versatile is important with homesteading. Absolutely. You have to. I mean, you just got to figure things out, because who can afford to just keep building buildings? You know, um, if it was our dream come true, what we would have is one building with several versatile stalls in it. And that's because, first of all, number one, it makes feeding and watering easier, and it would just go out to separate pastures. We saw someone up in Vale who had that, and we really like that concept. The other thing is, in the wintertime, if you have to keep the animals locked in, you can let them out of their stalls in a common area, or you can leave them in there and feed them hay and water. And you can have one of those industrial heaters in the building, so it's not really keeping it hot, but you don't have to worry about animals freezing. I mean, because we had to worry about frostbite with our chickens last year. Let's see. Yeah, we're crushing it. Tom, you cracked me up. Yeah, Daz, I travel about, it's about 50 minutes for me to Rapid City for work. And apparently we got busy stuff going on in a rural town. We got sirens going, which is weird. I travel about 50 minutes one way. So I'm, basically I say I travel 2 hours a day for work, but that's, I mean, when you live in a rural area, the reality of it is there's not a lot here that pays anything. That's just the scary part. I mean, the reality of it is Ryan had the opportunity. We fell in love with the town that we're in. And even though there's tons of tourists here, in the summertime, which adds to my commute, quite honestly, it's worth it, because I like living here. It was probably 12 degrees hotter in Rapid City than it was here. So I'm going to take it. I'll take it. Thanks, Bland's Promise Ranch. We appreciate it. We feel like we're doing good. We're excited. Oh, that's okay, Aaron. Have a great day. No problem.
Watching.
Appreciate you being here. But yeah, so I mean, fencing for this weekend. I know I've said that, but that'll be exciting. We'll do that video. It should be out on Monday. Yeah, Donna, we were in North Carolina. So we originally were in Connecticut, and Ryan got a job opportunity in North Carolina, and we were in one of the Tennessee border counties there, and it was rural. And then we moved down to the same county that Asheville was in. So it's really hot there, but not like where you are, Donna, because you're in South Carolina. And I remember when I used to drive down to South Carolina when we were in North Carolina, because we lived in the mountains of Western North Carolina. It was hot in South Carolina. But yeah, so we're loving it here, though. I mean, the scenery here is like nothing we've ever seen before, and I think that's why we're really enjoying it. Wide open spaces. They talk about Big Sky, Montana. Let me tell you, it's like Big Sky here too. Yeah, we used to drive down to Greenville, Donna. Was it Greenville, and what was Spartanburg? But no, where'd we get the strawberries? Was that Chesney?
Yes.
I think it was Chesney, South Carolina, where we used to go and get strawberries every year in June. It was a farm there. I can't remember the name, but I can message you if you're interested. But yeah, Daz, the drive can be a pain, but there's nothing better than leaving it all behind.
Wasn't it Cooley's?
I think there was one named Cooley's, but that wasn't the one.
No, that's one of the ones we went to, I believe.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm really glad that we're in a rural town, and I'm not in the same town, quite honestly, where I work, because that's always a challenge for me with the work that I do. Bumping into clients can be challenging. I work with a lot of the population that's involved in the criminal justice program. They've got a long history. Sometimes people get angry. So it's actually, and I'm not trying to paint a picture because they're not awful people. But what I'm saying is sometimes it's just nicer to be able to escape and get away from their stuff. Because I do that at work all day. You know what I mean? So it's just nice to be me. So that's what I'm getting at. I'm going to look up the name. Hang on a minute. Here, you talk to them. Say hey.
Yeah, Lisa's much better at this than I am, but I don't know what to talk about. But
talk about your cheap strategies.
Well, we talked about that last week. Maybe some of you have joined us, but like auctions, and I think I mentioned yard sales. Just even when you're driving around, you'll see lots of things that you can find use for, and either for free or rather cheap. Craigslist. There's a lot of those ways that I have to do it.
I found it, Donna. It's Strawberry Hill in Chesney. That's where we used to go. Pressure is on me.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's really cool. Pickens has a lot. That's awesome. Yeah, we all do. We all have our problems. I mean, you can reach out, and what they taught us in school was you could put, 2 hands out, arm's length, and touch somebody who's got mental health or substance abuse issues. Yeah. Thanks, doing things different. You said you do a fine job, brother.
Yeah, thank you.
He does great. He really does. He really does.
Yeah, sometimes I get caught up in my thinking, I guess.
Don't we all? I get repetitive. When I'm editing videos, oh my gosh, I go so I apologize, people. I try to edit that out as much as possible. I'm not like Tom, who just gets on and he's like, hey, everybody, how's it going? But what else is everybody up to? Anything? And while you guys are thinking about that, Donna, I'm just curious, what'd you do at the hospital all those years? Because I know you're retired now and living that life of luxury with that awesome garden you have. And doing things different. We want to hear from you. What you got going on this weekend, too? How about you, Daz? So, it's so nice out. I tell you, it's crazy. We didn't even have the medium, nice 60s, 70s weather much at all. Tom says, thanks for that, Lisa. I always think I ramble. You don't. I ramble. Ryan sits there while I'm on the camera and he's like, wrap it up. Fencing the garden tomorrow. Nice, doing things different. I like that. And Nancy at our treasured home, she's crocheting right now. Oh, I love to crochet. I like to do that in the winter. We were busy this winter, though. Oh, that's right. And Daz, winter started here this week, so it's been cold outside and a few hard frosts. No snow. You don't get any snow at all. That is so crazy. Wow. You get cold weather, but no snow. Wow. And doing things different is moving pigs. What kind of pigs do you have? Kind of curious. And Donna did a little of everything, from admitting to assisting on a couple of autopsies. Whoa, that is so cool. Lisa says spring doesn't seem to exist anymore. No. Gosh.
That's what I was telling some people I know back east and on the East Coast. I said, we'll go from snow to hail. And sure enough, the snow went away, and within a week or two, we had hail.
Oh my gosh, I know it. Nancy at our treasured home has a fascinating background. If you follow her on Instagram, she's done a bunch of things. Nancy, you want to throw that out there? I miss being on the rescue squad, but I'm good at doing good at what I do now. But Nancy, you've done a bunch of things. I know you've posted on Instagram. That's really cool. And earlier, I meant to tell you, Lisa Colovi said, you need to teach Frank how to cook. She's probably tired of cooking for him.
I'm not by any means a chef, but all I will say is Google is very helpful.
Ryan cooks good.
And my grandmother actually used to say that if you can read and follow directions, then you can cook.
Yeah, that's my problem. Donna said, thank you. It takes a special mindset to do autopsies. No kidding. No kidding. And they need to be done. It's the reality. Doing things different, said their mutts. Gloucester. Is that how you say that?
Yeah.
Boar got in with a Cheshire, I believe it was. Yeah, well, we have our two meat pigs are Mangalitsa, Duroc, and Berkshire. So they must have got in with some buddies. That's why we have Sherman and the girls separate. We're trying to avoid any problems right now. Yeah, that's right, Nancy, an EMT, an armed and unarmed security investigator, private investigator, that's right. Associate's degree in criminal justice, and I have my CSI certification. That's so awesome. Cool. That's awesome. So yeah. So we've got our like I told you, we put our chicks, our main girls, our teenage girls are in with the main chickens, and it's been a good week. I mean, I have to say, like, there's been some picking. They were mean at first, but knock on wood, nobody's got missing feathers. Nobody's, bleeding. Everybody's doing fine. They're starting to mix up a little now. So that's why we're going to let them out tomorrow night and see how it goes. I'm hoping they all follow each other, but something tells me they won't. Here's the ironic part. We have Rhode Island Reds, Golden Comets, and White Leghorns from the main flock. So the Leghorns have always been the highest on the hierarchy, and the Comets are kind of next to them, And then we've got the Rhode Island Reds. Well, the Comets are supposed to be the most docile of the breeds. And guess who's chasing the little birds around? The Golden Comets. Terrible. We have 25 laying hens. We have 11 that are actually laying, and then the other 14 are teenagers that are growing up and hopefully will start laying in the next few months. So we have a lot of laying hens, but we're doing that because we want to sell eggs. We had eventually wanted to do the farmer's market, and it's a big thing where you have to do licensing in South Dakota. And then what we'll do is you have to grade them and candle them. So we're just trying to work on that process. But yeah, so we have 25 of those. We have 2 khaki Campbell ducks. We have 5 pigs, 2 of the Mangalitsa, Duroc, and Berkshire. And then we have the Kuni boar, and we have the Kuni girls. And right now we have 5 bourbon red turkeys in the brooder. Yeah. And we've got a bunch of Cornish.
25 to 30 of Cornish cross.
Yeah. I don't know that I want to do Cornish cross again. I mean, they'd probably be excellent meat, but the fragility of them, I'm not liking.
Yeah, we've had 3 or 4 losses when we got them a week ago.
Yeah.
But towards the end of this week, they've seemed to perk up and no more issues.
I think our biggest challenge now, our other challenge was always, a bee there. Our challenge has always been keeping them warm enough. And, we have 2 heat lamps in the brooder, and it's usually because of the weather we have trouble keeping them warm enough, And so we pretty much grow pretty hardy chicks because we can't always get the brooder to 95 like it should be the first week.
Right.
And they do well. But the problem we're having with the Cornish cross is it is hot in that room in the back of the garage. It's an insulated room, and we had to shut one of the lights off last night.
Yeah, because it's staying pretty warm.
Yep. And doing things different, said Leghorns don't last at our place. Why is that? Do they get pecked on, or? I'm a little perplexed. Let me know. Because I thought it said Leghorns, Reds, or ornery. Hey, Joy Bless Life. Welcome. Come on in. Glad to have you here. But yeah, we got a lot going on. So we're pretty excited. I think we're really smart about, I think one of the things that I think are, what's a good way to say? Possum bait, doing things different. That I get it now. Yeah, I get it. I think some of our strengths are repurposing stuff and using things that we have on hand. the versatility of buildings, and the efficiency of the land. I think those are our strengths. Would you agree?
Yeah.
What do you think are some of the areas we need to grow on? Knowledge.
Gardening.
Gardening.
I started
Do tell.
the last year, this year I started seeds. They get to be seedlings, and then I continue to water them, keep them under the grow lights. And the last 2 years, the cucumbers, as soon as I move them outside, they seem to die. I keep them watered. We waited till the frost was gone. I put hail netting over them, but this week they've started to like wilt or wither away.
Yeah, and last year, now mind you,
But I started now. On the other hand, zucchini and squash, my tomatoes, broccoli, and peppers all did well, but I seem to be struggling with the cucumbers.
and what I think it is, quite honestly, is I think it's the soil. Yep, Bland's Promise Ranch said, "How's your soil?"
And I was mentioning that to Lisa earlier today or yesterday. I said maybe I need to do a soil test, and I'm not sure, but I'm assuming because there's a lot of pine trees here that the soil may be perhaps a little acidic. But that was going to be my next step, was to get a soil test done.
Yeah, so Ryan has been growing gardens for years. He grew gardens in Connecticut where we lived, and we were in what they call the ice box of Connecticut. We had a pretty high elevation. We used to get snow when nobody else got snow. So he knows what he's doing. I mean, he's been doing this for years. He used to have massive gardens before we met. So it's not him. So we figure and I'm not trying to toot his horn, but I'm trying to say, I feel like he knows what he's doing. The problem is probably the soil. So what did you add to the soil this year? Well, last year, what did we add? Sheep manure.
Yeah, we added some manure, not very, to the raised bed we did, but not too much to the main garden. This year I added about a truckload of cow manure because the soil is real dense. And when you water it, it seems to form like a glaze, and then the water just sits on top. So I added a bunch of chicken manure with shavings and a truckload of cow manure. And I just started this year to answer Bland's Promised Land Ranch. Do you have a compost bin? Yes, we did start one of those. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I know that when we did the hugelkultur bed, we were worried about all we have is pine trees, and you throw trees in the bottom of the hugelkultur bed. And, it's kind of like I said to Ryan, I said, well, I don't want to throw all these pine needles in because I feel like it's very acidic. It's probably not good. So we threw some pine tree trunks in there, tree trunks, but we didn't throw pine needles. But then we instantly threw
a lot of
peat moss, and
there was some green green or not green, deciduous bushes and stuff that were around. We threw those in as well.
Yep. So yeah, we have a compost bin. I don't know that.
Yeah.
Is it going okay?
Yeah,
you do that.
I just started it. It's not something that's been ongoing. We had bought this property in January of 20.
Yep.
Yeah. So we've been here a little over a year and a half, I'd say. And so I just started doing that.
Yep. And it's funny, Nancy at our treasured home said, "You sound like me. I can get them to grow flour, and then that is it. No food, nothing." Haha. Nancy, do Kratky hydroponic lettuce. All you need is grow lights, mason jars, and some netting baskets. Message me on Instagram. I'll tell you how to do it. I'm telling you, we grew lettuce all year round, and it was super easy. So I would definitely do it.
I could imagine. That's what I had saw going from. You're saying going from Maryland to Texas was a huge learning curve. It was the same even going from Connecticut to North Carolina, because the soil was so much different, and even here it's much different. But what I'm seeing here, mostly what happens is it like I said, it forms like a skim coat of a crust, and the water doesn't get through.
I wonder.
That's one thing that I'm noticing.
Blands, do you have that problem? Because I mean, I know you're in Texas and you get that dry heat, but you probably, I don't know if you're in an area that gets the flash flooding also in Texas. I'm sorry, I'm only familiar with Houston, barely. But I know that, you get that dry, arid conditions. But do you also get some humidity? You get flash floods. Do you also get humidity? Because we have very low humidity here for the most part. And so, excuse me. So what ends up happening is last year we really felt like we could water 3 times a day, and we feel like we need to do soaker hose irrigation or something. So I don't know. I'm gonna let you talk for a minute. I gotta get something to drink before I choke in here.
So yeah, that's the main thing about the gardening. It's been a huge learning curve, but I did have some success last year with zucchini and squash, carrots, parsnips, and beets. So I may just kind of stick to the root vegetables. Tomatoes, I think I started too late, and obviously here the growing season isn't long enough where we are. So we'll give it a shot this year with the stuff I've planted. The broccoli seems to be coming, and cauliflower seem to be coming along well. The peppers are doing well, and this was the first year of us doing potatoes, and so far, far they're starting to come up. So we'll stay tuned for how our potato crop pans out.
And I think thank you, hon. I think the potatoes will do better here. I'm hopeful. I tried to do potatoes the year that Ryan came out here in March of 2019, and he would commute back and forth, and we've talked about that before. So I tried to grow a garden, and it was all a container garden. And I think I tried to grow onions, and I tried to grow potatoes, and I never grew them before. So I grew the potatoes in a tire, like an old tire on our grass yard and everything. I'm going to interrupt for just a minute because I want to say goodnight to Donna. Good night, Donna. Thank you so much for coming. Have a great night. Appreciate your support. So we ended up, I did potatoes and the onions, like I said. Well, then we had two of the rainiest years in a row. And of course, that was the second rainiest year. And I literally poured out the onions because they rotted in the soil. And then I put down the potatoes too. They rotted as well. Hey, Illinois Canarum, welcome. Thank you for coming from Central Illinois. But yeah, so I mean, yep, no problem. Ryan's going to step out for just a second. He's got to take a work call. But yeah, we ended up, so the potatoes are doing well and everything. So we'll see how it goes. But like I said, I don't know why the gardening is just not going well. I'm hoping it gets better. Last year we got the most beautiful, huge tomato plants in the hugelkultur bed, and that's the one behind me. And that's when we got that snow in September. So I don't know. We're going to try and put the greenhouse up, and hopefully we can try to save some things. I don't know. The strawberries too, they're taking so long to come back now, and I'm assuming it's because of our short growing season. So it's like, I don't even know if we're going to have fruit on our strawberries at this point because they're just peeking through the ground after being covered with strawberries. So if anybody's got any tips for us, please let us know. You found 9 volunteer tomatoes today? Do some splaining. I'm going to go back and look at some comments. Yeah, we collect rain to water. Soaker hoses would be great. So here's the problem with us collecting rain. We bought food grade barrels. And the problem is we don't get enough rain usually. We got more rain this spring than we have, but usually we get hail or something, but we don't get enough rain to collect. So honestly, what we do is instead of putting the drain on our well, because we share a well with our neighbor, and we're always, concerned about that. You don't want to have a problem with your well because that's expensive. We've done it before. So what we end up doing is if you go to town, you can get I think it's a quarter for so many whatever gallons. So we have an IBC tote that we end up filling up, and we're going to use that for like Wallers, and we're going to use, it's chlorinated, which I'm not a fan of, but you know what? I'm not going to ruin my well, so I'm going to deal with it. So what we'll end up doing is doing Wallers, animal pools, and all that with that. So, you know, and yeah, Nancy, you're right. I mean, it's amazing how every state is different when it comes to the weather. It's really crazy. Last year we hardly had any rain and we had a bunch of snow. And the problem is when we don't get rain, what's the biggest concern? Wildfires, right? And we have a lot of tourists who camp, and sadly, not all tourists are careful, right? Not all people are careful. We had wildfires even when somebody was careful in Rapid City. So it's really scary. So, you know, you got to do what you got to do. Nancy said last year I brought cherry tomatoes and only got about 10. And this year I did the same thing and I only have 2. That's crazy. I wonder if you need some fertilizer, some Miracle Grow or something. They need hot, humid weather. They need a lot of sun. And Miracle Grow is usually my go-to. Because I will say, even when it was rainy that year in Asheville, I ended up having amazing cherry tomatoes. So I was really impressed. Of course, I would eat right off of them all the time. So they never made it far. I like purple Cherokee too. Bland's Promise. Yeah, your latest video shows how hard you've been hit with the rain. I'm going to watch that, catch up this weekend. I'm a little behind. I'm sorry. Let's see who else we got here. Oh, of course, Donna's got to go. That's no worries. Let's see. I'm checking out 50 tomatoes and 60 peppers. Oh my gosh, doing things different. You are doing things different. That's awesome. What varieties did you plant? I'm curious. Illinois can hear him. I throw bad fruit on the ground and found them before I mow. That's awesome. I give my vegetables to my animals. Oh, cool, Joy Bless Life. You got that interview with Illinois Canary scheduled in the next day or so. That's awesome. And yeah, Bland's Promise, we got to do what works best. Absolutely. And we're doing everything we can. I think we're going to build more hugelkultur beds. You know, I think the problem is in front of our house, and this is the front of our house. You see, we have, don't mind the lawn that's not coming in yet. Where the picnic table is right there, that is the septic tank. So we have to be careful so we can't block that. So, and we have to leave enough room for when we shovel snow in the winter, but we're going to try and put a few beds in, just trying to make sure that we have enough, you know, access to the yard with the side-by-side. We don't want to sell ourselves short and all that stuff. Let's see what other comments we got. Yeah, Daz, you know, we got to be careful of the fires. We had a fire in Custer State Park last year in June, and thankfully what put it out was the storm that came through with so much hail that they had to plow the streets, quite honestly. So it's crazy. Wildfires scare me. I will take all the storms. I cannot take the fires. Hey, Kelly, welcome. Glad to have you here. Glad you're here. How'd your giveaway go? So, guys, if you're new here, I just want to throw a few shout outs to some really cool channels. Definitely want to check out Roost and Rescue, Bland's Promised Land Ranch, Joy Bless Life, On the Plant, Bramble Hill Homestead, Doing Things Different, My Aussie Garden and Kitchen, Nancy at Our Treasured Home. Yeah, Lisa, fire is the worst. It's really scary. We had 2 wildfires. One was in Rapid City, which is the county above us. And then we had one near Keystone. So thankfully far enough away from us. But the one in Rapid City, I could see from work. And it's really scary because it was in a beautiful, beautiful area of Rapid City. And, what ended up happening was, from what I hear or what I saw in the media, was somebody was burning, and they were burning appropriately. They put the fire out and all that stuff, and it ended up rekindling. So yeah, wildfires are scary. I mean, we're on a main road, and I always worry someone's going to throw a cigarette out the window, and that's not something you can do here, because that's enough to kill somebody, and no thank you. So we do a lot of defensible space, meaning that we clean the pine needles away from the house. Ponderosa pine bark it's retardant to wildfires to a certain point. So what's really cool is the Forest Service does a great job of, I don't know what you call it, I guess maintaining the forestry. So because they do that, here's what they do. So you will see them, they will cut branches up to a certain point. They will make all these little teepeed piles of all the branches, and they leave them there and they let them sit. In the wintertime, when we get a foot of snow, right, they will sit there and they will burn those piles. So that's their natural way of cleaning up the forest, and it's really, really cool. Oh, okay. Yeah, Illinois, I can hear them. You have to burn off around your pond. Yeah, I bet. I have to, we've got stuff and we don't want to burn it, so we end up tossing it in the pile in the back. You want to say the back 40, but it's actually the back 1 acre. Oh, Blands, you had a pasture fire once and it was very intense. Oh my gosh, how scary. That stuff just takes off. It's crazy. Oh, Kelly, I'm glad the giveaway was awesome. Yeah, I saw that Adam won, but I'm really excited. Congratulations. That's really cool. Really, really cool. But so yeah, you guys had any questions for us before we wrap up? Try to keep it at about an hour because I don't want to take up all your time. I know everybody's got a lot going on. And I'm starving. I'm going to go eat my dinner soon, but I just wanted to check in. Any questions for you guys? I'm just going to get a drink real quick. Thirsty. Trying to hold computers and so on. We meet again, Monica. Monica, we meet again. You had fun. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate all you guys coming. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Really appreciate it. Please feel free to share our channel. We're trying to get towards 500. We're at about 256 now. Got a bunch of watch hours. We are just over 1,000 views away from 35,000. Yay! Super excited. Really, really excited about that. We're pretty honored. So that's pretty cool. Our treasured home, my things I don't like is floods and tornadoes. Yeah. Not a fan of floods and tornadoes. We had a tornado actually, a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
We had two tornadoes touch down around here.
Come through our area.
Scary. Thanks, doing things different. Take care. Appreciate you coming. Glad you were here. Yeah, and I've been in Houston when there was flash flooding, and I could not believe it. Kelly said, "Hi, Ryan."
Hello, Kelly.
And Illinois can hear him said, "You had me at." See you next time. All right, y'all. We just wanted to
thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you guys. And oh, good. Coffee Angel Crafts. Thank you. Thank you. Glad you're here. Appreciate it. We're just wrapping up. We were just talking about tornadoes being here. But yeah, Joy Bless Life. Thank you very much. Have a great night. But we're going to get going, everybody. Yeah. Have a great night. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. And thank you so, so much for all your support. Yeah. We're in awe of you guys.
Yeah, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. Take care.
Have a great weekend.
All right, bye, y'all.